You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
You know, sometimes we're not prepared for adversity. When it happens, sometimes we're caught short. We don't know exactly how to handle it when it comes up. Sometimes we don't know just what to do when adversity takes over. And I have advice for all of us. I got it from our pianist, Joe Zawinul, who wrote this tune. And it sounds like what you're supposed to say when you have that kind of problem. It's called Mercy, Mercy, Mercy.
Power Plug Radio. You are listening to The African Queen, and I would like to introduce our brand new show, Vinyl Fever, and our new DJ, my little brother, Jeffrey.
To Vinyl Fever. We are playing some of our favorite jazz tunes, and we hope that you all will tune in and listen and relax like we like to do. And I also have with me my lovely wife, Miss Marlene Peaton, and she's going to be joining us this evening as we play some of our favorites for you. So next on the list, we have African Queen. And next on the list, we're going to be starting off with another classic.
Welcome back to Power Plug Radio.
And we are back, and that had to be the most awkward introduction in the history of radio show introductions. We had a little mishap there, but we got it under control. And we started off the show with one of my favorites, Cannonball Adderley, joined by, of course, his brother on cornet, Nat Adderley. And that song was Mercy, Mercy, Mercy off of the Live at the Club album. And then we followed that up with Sonny Rollins and St. Thomas off of the Saxophone Colossus album from 1956. And we're going to slide into some other songs, but let's first tell you about a little bit of how this vision came to be with the Vinyl Fever radio show. And of course, I have my lovely wife and my sister on the African Queen. And they know me, and they know my love for music originated with my dad, and a lot of it had a lot of the jazz tunes that we'll be bringing to you, a lot of the funk tunes we'll be bringing to you, some other genres, but we wanted to start off with an introduction into jazz music. And I got into jazz pretty much by stealing my dad's vinyl records. And that's where we got the idea of Vinyl Fever. I don't know if people are familiar with the old record store Vinyl Fever that used to be in Tampa, and there was one, of course, in Tallahassee. And my wife is wearing my classic Vinyl Fever t-shirt. So yes, that's how we got the idea, the concept, and Power Plug was kind enough to let us come on and just share some music with you that we relax to, and hopefully you can relax and sit back and enjoy like we do. So next, we will be going to Mr. Lee Morgan and off of the Infinity album.
So before we go on to the next song, Mr. Tell us a little bit about Lee Morgan and his type of music and what he likes to play and things like that.
Well, for the hip hop heads out there, a lot of people may recognize that Lee Morgan name and the album Infinity because several classic 90s hip hop groups sampled that album to death. It's one of the albums that's really hard to find if you're into digging for vinyl, which is also how we got the idea for the name, because me and my college friends, we loved digging for vinyl albums, and of course Vinyl Fever was one of our spots, and we thought, it would just be an appropriate name for the show. Lee Morgan is one of my favorites, primarily because of my exposure to hip hop, and he was one of those artists that the first time I heard one of his songs and I recognized the sample from the hip hop version of the song by A Tribe Called Quest. It was just one of those things where, wow, look at this connection between classic jazz, 1956 jazz, and 1991 hip hop. And that a lot of that, for a lot of my friends and people my age that are into both, a lot of that has to do with the connection. And personally for me, the album covers. Sometimes you're digging for albums and you just say, this has got to be dope because the album cover looks dope. So you try it. Sometimes you get it home and play it, and it is dope. Sometimes you get it home and play it, and it's one that needed to go in the $1 stack.
And on that note, we're going to fade into some really nice Lee Morgan.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio. Home of your throwback jams.
Welcome back to Vinyl Fever on Power Plug Radio.
Nettie B by Lee Morgan off of the Infinity album put out. Actually, it was recorded in 1965, but interestingly enough, it wasn't dropped until 1981. And of course, it features Mr. Reggie Workman on bass, one of my favorite bassists. And I would love to dedicate this song to my nephew Christopher Pete and Michael Sheffield out in Colorado, who's 29 years old today. So
Christopher Michael Peyton Sheffield. Thank you very much.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, so
He's a
happy
Pete
birthday,
first.
happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday, baby. We love you.
Now the next joint we got coming up is by someone that I was introduced to by my best friend, and I want to dedicate this song to him. It's Mr. Gary Bartz, and he's a saxophonist that's kind of fused jazz into a kind of like a funk jazz kind of feel to it. And the song we're going to check out right now is called Celestial Blues. And it's a really laid back kind of song, and it's one of the ones that you can really vibe to. Claudio introduced it to me by playing it over. He played it out. Yeah, he just played it over and over. It was his joint for about 6 months probably. Yeah, but it's one of my favorites. So let's go into Celestial Blues by Gary Bartz on saxophone.
We must get closer to the end of life, but be aware that it takes serious time. Expand your mind, don't let it wither and die. You'll find it lift your spirit high to the sky. So let's let's contemplate. We must get closer to the end of life, but be aware that it takes courage and pride. Expand your mind, don't let it wither and die. You find it, let the spirit high. God, so meditate. Yeah, that's not play. Go on and talk to the heavenly bodies of the universe. We must get closer to the end of life, but be aware that it takes courage and pride. Expand your mind, don't let it wither and die. You find it, let the spirit high. God, no meditate. Yeah, God, meditate. No meditate. Come on and concentrate. Yeah, meditate. Come on, concentrate. Talk to the heavenly body. Go on, talk to the heavenly body. 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 Talk to the heavenly body of the universe. Go on and talk to the heavenly body. Heavenly body of the universe. Meditate, people. Meditate, brothers and sisters. Meditate, brothers and sisters. Meditate, brothers and sisters. Let's go. Let us talk to the heavenly bodies. Let us talk to the heavenly bodies. Yes. Let us talk to the heavenly bodies of the universe. Let of the universe. Yes, I said of the universe. Of the universe. Of the universe. Of the
Welcome back to Vinyl Fever. So we want to do some shout outs to all of our listeners. So we would like to say a hello and a greeting to Ms. Zawanda Williams. Thank you for listening. LaDon Hedden, Christopher Michael, Jennifer. Love you, Jennifer. We have a lot of great comments. LaDon made some comments that made sense when we were talking about the art. One of the comments he said is album art helps make the experience of listening to music. I'm saddened that we don't utilize album art covers anymore, which is very true. We could talk about album art covers forever. Yeah. We want to say thank you for everyone who's listening. Please make sure that you share our show. The show is going to be every Sunday from 5 to 7. So, Mr. DJ, what you got to say?
And Mr. Bartz, Gary Bartz, he's a jazz funk fusion. I have this thing like the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, I think it is. Miles Davis is that for jazz, and Gary Bartz is saxophonist that played a little bit with Miles Davis, McCoy Tyner, Max Roach, and some others. And that's just one of those funky jazz, the singing in the background. I can't remember what dude's name that was singing in the background, but it was dope, and just relax and listen to the songs and watch me make a fool of myself banging my head on my microphone live on YouTube radio. Yes.
Oh boy.
So next, we're gonna take that Gary Bartz song and transition a little bit because it gave us that funky vibe.
Yes.
We're gonna go into some more funk, and this is one of my favorite bands, Cymande. And a little story before we get into the Cymande joint that we're gonna drop for you. I've loved Cymande for years, and that's another one of those groups that because of the samples that hip hop producers and DJs have used from many of their joints, you just kind of you're attracted to those funky kind of sounds. And I had never heard this song that we're gonna play called "Getting It Back" until, and the Fargo fans out there might recognize it, until we were watching, my wife and I, watching an episode of Fargo, and we were both like, that's so funky. And of course I jumped on the phone and did
Shazam.
Did the Shazam. It's like, oh snap, that's Cymande. And of course we started playing it and it made it into the rotation. So let's go into some Cymande, Getting It Back, one of my favorite funky joints.
My name is getting around. I say the whole world is letting me down now, 'cause I don't know where I'm bound. Yes, I guess I'm going down, 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 and I feel I'm gonna drown. Yeah, I guess I'm going down, 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 and I feel I'm gonna drown. Once I used to be high, now all my friends pass me by. I got teardrops in my eyes, somebody else got all the smile, because I guess I'm going down, 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 and I feel I'm gonna drown. Oh, I guess I'm going down, 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 and I feel I'm gonna drown. Going down, 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 going down, 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 going down, 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 going down. Got to help me now, because I'm going down, 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 down. I say right down to the ground. Need a little help now. Somebody gotta help me now. Oh, my goodness, I just going down there. Somebody sit right on, but how can I ride on when I'm going down, 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 going down, down, going down, down, down.
are listening to Power Plug Radio.
And that was Simande, actually, a British funk group. And that was their title album, their first album. Getting It Back is the name of the joint, and it was dropped in 1972 on Janus Records. But what really threw me off with Simande is that they're British. That I was thinking it when I first heard them, I thought it was Mandrill, or some of the other funk bands that's traditionally American funk bands, but British for real. Yeah, very, very funky group. If you're not familiar with Simande, I think the song
Check them out.
Yeah, I think the song they're most famous for is The Message. You'll probably end up hearing that sometime in the future.
So, with that being said, Miss Peaton.
Yes, ma'am.
I can say that now, Miss Peaton.
What's Mrs.?
I'm sorry. That's right. Mrs. Peaton. Correct me. So being new in Jeffrey's life, you got introduced to music, I know, very quickly.
Got introduced to good music.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. I listen to good music.
I ain't even gonna go there. That's a husband-wife thing. But tell us the introduction that you got to all of the different music. What did it do? How did it help you learn who he was?
I think it's everybody expresses themselves in a different ways, artistic manner, and it was just that was Jeff's way of expressing himself. And my baby boy is a musician, and so
shout out to Xavier.
Hey, he plays the sax and the oboe.
Mancho.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Mancho.
and the viola. No, but so I got introduced to like classical and jazz and stuff like that, and really got to appreciate individual instruments and just the beauty of it. And so then when I met Jeffrey and he opened my eyes to just a whole nother world of different classical, jazz, funk, and even just people I thought I knew and liked, and people I missed out on, like Nina Simone, and the real appreciation for Tina Turner and Prince.
For anybody that needs a reminder, Prince is the all-time greatest.
Yes, I thought I love Prince. I really didn't appreciate him until as much as he deserves it till I met Jeffrey. So I'm always surprised. It's always an adventure, and that's what I love.
Thank you.
And true. It's Jeffrey and I grew up. Mm-hmm. Listening to music and so many different types of music, and having those personal connections in our lives. And we even though I do have an appreciation of jazz, I stem more towards the R&B. So you give me anything old school R&B,
oh yeah,
that's me. But I can still sit down.
That's soul. That's soul.
The soul R&B, and let's sit back and I was listening to the OJs the other night and Ohio Players and stuff. But then it does. You're right. It sets a mood. Also,
and it sets the mood for evening after work when you're just sipping on some cognac. it sets the mood for me even when I'm at work. Yeah. It sets the mood for parties. It sets the mood for road trips. Music has always been involved in our lives in some way, shape, or form. It just so happens for me personally, jazz is a major part of that rotation, and some other genres, a lot of other genres that I probably won't ever get around to playing on the show. But we're gonna stick to jazz and funk for right now.
Yes.
I remember one of the things, Mr. Lamb.
Yeah.
Who was my music teacher at Bay Point Middle School. One thing he said, you always have music with you, just listen to your heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I never thought about it. That hit me like, oh dang,
rhythmic.
And I was in the 7th grade. It was like, okay, that just blew my mind at that moment. Yeah.
And somebody like me who has no talent at all when it comes to playing music. I have no instrumental.
That's true.
I have no ability to play any instrument. But
your instrument is your writing, though. So
yeah.
don't downplay that.
Yes.
But yes.
But as someone that's not an artist, music still sets the tone for me. Very much so. And this next joint we're going to get into Mr. Grover Washington.
Good one.
The song is Lock in the Pocket. And this is one of those joints that technically, really, you can't really enjoy it unless you're in the back seat of a 98 Oldsmobile and somebody's playing it on a 8-track tape player.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? That this is one of those joints. Grover Washington, Lock in the Pocket. Now, for the hip hop heads out there, Gangstar in particular, if anybody recognizes the sample, I may not be able to contain myself, and we may just interrupt the song to say that's the sample. but any of the Gangstar fans out there, I won't say the song, but if y'all know, let us know in the message board.
And before we go and play this song, I just want to give a shout out to our sister Jazzy. Thank
Happy
you
birthday
for
coming up.
Happy birthday.
I'm going to give a shout out to my aunt. Hi, Titi Saida. Thank you for listening.
And now we're going to play some Grover Washington.
Yes.
You can clap your hands, y'all. It's Saturday night.
sample, Gangsta.
Rock in the pocket, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Richard Lee. Yes, sir.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
And the nerd in me just could not resist having my sister, the producer, turn the sound down so I could point out where the Gangstar sample was. But did anybody put in the comments what song that was? Where are the hip hop heads? Where are the hip hop heads? I know. Shout out to Claudio and Rough Rob. I know they would know. But for any Gangstar fan out there, that's where DJ Premier got the sample for "Flip the Script." That maybe 3 seconds where the nerdy DJ came in and said, that's the sample. That's the sample. But that's one of the things that the hip hop heads, we recognize the samples. You dig for the albums, and you make a connection to some of the jazz joints, to the hip hop joints that you grew up listening to, or and that's one of the things that excites me the most. My wife will see, times where I'll be listening to something and I'll be like, oh snap, and then I'll jump on my computer and start digging, and of course I'll find a song that's whatever sample came from.
Yeah. And the kids do it too, because our son will definitely always ask, where is this from? He understands now samples, so it's fun for him too to figure out the origin of a song that, was sampled like 3 times by Q-Tip, Megan Thee Stallion, or something like that. And you're like, wow.
Yeah, the same samples used over and over. What was that other one that I can't remember? It was this other joint that we heard, and then when Macho heard it, he was like, wait, that's something. And then when you heard it, babe, you were like, that's something else. And of course, because I'm old, when I heard it, I was like, oh,
I think it was a sample from a Biggie song.
Was it?
Yeah. We have a whole, we'll bring one of those in, because we have like a whole section of songs that
match the sample.
Yeah. From some funk or soul song. Yeah, absolutely.
Now this next joint we're gonna get into, it's another one of those joints that you got to be in the back seat of maybe a Cadillac for this one. Playing it on 8-track. This is gonna be Average White Band, Pick Up the Pieces.
Hey, Uncle Keith.
Uncle Keith is on. Uncle Keith, what's up?
Don't worry about being late. You here.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome back to Power Plug Radio.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio. Home of your throwback jams.
And that was Average White Band with Pick Up the Pieces, and that's one of those joints that most people my age and my sister's age can remember hearing. Probably the parents playing it on the turntables, but I don't know if there's a lot of movie nerds out there, but one of my favorite movies is what's the name of the movie with Vince Vaughn and your boy from Iron Man? Swingers. Yeah, Swingers. It's a part of the movie.
Never seen that movie.
From Iron Man. What?
Yeah, the
Robert Downey
directed.
Robert Downey Jr.?
No, the guy that directed it, the guy who played the chauffeur.
You talking about Wedding Crashers?
No, I'm like,
Yeah,
I have
let's
no
just
idea.
not say we did.
see, now y'all gonna make me show that movie to y'all.
Oh, well, see.
But yeah, that was Average White Band. But now we're gonna venture into some hard bebop jazz. We're gonna leave a little bit of the funk behind and go into one of my favorite artists, Freddie Hubbard, on trumpet. This is off the Red Clay album. It's actually Freddie Hubbard's first album on the CTI label, and for the vinyl enthusiast, that's one of the great jazz labels that kind of got it started in the 70s. So here we go with Red Clay by Freddie Hubbard.
Welcome back to Power Plug Radio. You are listening to Vinyl Fever. This is the African Queen, and I am here with my brother Jeffrey and my sister Marlene.
And
Go
that-
ahead, DJ Jeffrey.
Yes, and that was Freddie Hubbard. That was the title track off of the Red Clay album. The song itself is called Red Clay. And it's on the CTI label, and it features an all-star lineup. You got Herbie Hancock on piano and electric piano. Of course, Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Lenny White on drums, Joe Henderson on tenor saxophone and flute, and then of course that man Ron Carter on the bass. And I understand that Mr. Claudio Nunez, my best friend, has joined us, and you missed the song that was dedicated to you, Claudio. I played Celestial Blues just for you. But we're going to next jump.
Wait, hold on. We got a comment that I would like to read. So your nephew said your name is DJ Jazzy Jeff.
No. We got to come up with a DJ name, but it ain't gonna be Jazzy Jeff. No.
All I can picture of him being thrown out the house going, oh!
Or does that make you the Fresh Prince?
Princess.
Thank you for the comment, birthday boy. But no, I am not Jazzy Jeff, and you will not hear any Jazzy Jeff on this jazz show. But
Or Will Smith for them.
or the Fresh Prince, ever. Even if I get a rap show, you'll never hear it. Fresh Prince or Jazzy.
Okay,
Jeff.
let's get off with Fresh Prince. Come on.
But now I'm kind of torn because I guess we're running out of time, and I'm torn between what song we should go out with.
Well, let's pick a song that we can go out with because we gotta give you some information about the show coming up, and we can actually go out with the next song that you have, and we'll just.
I think we're gonna skip ahead. Because as we were saying earlier with the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, the thing where you can tie any actor or actress into a Kevin Bacon movie somehow, and my thing is you can do the same thing with Miles Davis, and so you can't leave off Miles Davis on your first radio show, and we're gonna jump into it into the Kind of Blue album. I know many jazz enthusiasts are familiar with it. Recorded in 59, the entire album recorded in one take with John Coltrane on sax, Cannonball Adderley on sax, all-star lineup featuring Miles Davis, of course, in the lead. And the song we're going to play for you is on the Kind of Blue album is All Blues, my favorite joint on this very, very great jazz album.
So we're going to close out with Miles Davis, but we want to let you know that next week our show will be pre-recorded. That is the 8th of August, but we will be back live in the studio on August 16th. And we want to say thank you for listening.
15th.
15th, I'm sorry. We want to say thank you, though, for listening to the first episode of Vinyl Fever. And you are listening to Power Plug Radio. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. And if all of those fail, go to www.powerplugradio.com. And then if that doesn't work, you can listen to us on your phone, whether you're Apple or Android. And if you have Alexa, say, hey, Alexa, play Power Plug Radio.
Dang, I forgot about that. We got Alexa all through the house.
Right?
We could have Power Plug Radio playing in every room.
You're going to have Power Plug Radio playing in every room. And now we want to say thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you.
I am the African Queen.
And I am named to be determined in the near future, your host, Jeff.
And the wife of...
Named to be determined of the future host of Vinyl Fever. Thank you guys. Peace and
Thank you
blessings.
so much for tuning in. Hopefully you were able to cool out and relax to some of our favorite jazz songs, and we'll be bringing more to you in the near future.